An elderly Nigerian is facing deportation after living in the United States for more than 45 years. Felix Amy first arrived in the shores of the United States when he was only 23 years old young man. He arrived in the US on a student visa. Felix thought his dream of a better life and education in the US has been achieved. When he touched down in the United States, he was so excited that his dream has finally come to fruition. Felix, a few years later, tried to apply for student loan. Remember, this brother is in the US. He does not hold a US citizenship, and he wasn't living in the US legally as a permanent resident. Because of that, Felix first ran into trouble when he arrived in the US, and a few years later, Felix was sent back to Nigeria. He was deported back to Nigeria, and everybody thought that was the end. But guess what? In 2001, Felix reappeared in America. This time around, he has turned around his life. He is now a qualified nurse. When he arrived in the US, qualified nurse, and everything was fine. Felix was now working in the US as a nurse. There are valuable lessons that hopefully someone might learn from this case. Felix was doing everything. One day in 2008, after living in the US for more than 7 years, he ran into immigration officials again who arrested him, and this time around, they said they wanted to deport Felix back to Nigeria. Felix was scheduled for deportation, but luck ran out of. He was lucky. A court granted a reprieve, withholding his removal to Nigeria. He was subsequently released from ICE custody in 2008 based on an order supervision that mandated that he should regularly check in with the US government to track his movement in the country. Between 2008 to 2025 this year, the man did not miss one appointment. He was regularly attending his appointment for 17 years. Despite the fact that he retired as a nurse last year, the man was fine. He began, when he retired, people started saying, Oloye, you're retired. His life is bored. Just get a license and start driving Uber or Lyft. Felix considered the suggestion, and he decided that, okay, let him start driving Lyft in America now that he's retired and is now a pensioner. On the 28th of this month, on the 31st of October, he accepted a Lyft ride, requesting that the passenger wanted to go to Camp Pendleton. Camp Pendleton is a U.S. military base. Upon arriving at the military base, guards who check his identification flag him with alien. That is what they use to describe somebody who doesn't have legal paper in America. And swiftly, they took him to another military camp. Felix was not even briefed why he was being held. He thought this was a joke. Before you know what was happening, ICE agents were contacted and they detained him at their facility. Felix was left in dark as why he was being detained, because this is a man who has never missed one appointment with immigration officials for 17 years. The following day, he was handed a vague worded notice revoking his supervised release granted 17 years ago. And they cited a change in immigration circumstances that was not even explained to Felix. He was informed that arrangements were underway to repatriate him, not even to Nigeria, to a third country, which he suspected was Ghana. The brother petitioned the court immediately because he has lived in America for long time. he understands how the system works. This is why, for somebody who is living in the Western world, who is still trying to navigate the immigration system, it is very, very important that you sought information. As soon as he petitioned, because he knew that they were about to send him not to Nigeria, but to Ghana or a third country, he got his lawyer involved straight away and petitioned the court to challenge his planned deportation. He argued that ICE did not give him any adequate explanation for why they have revoked his order, which has been in place since 2008. The judge then agreed with Felix and said to the ICE, look, the ruling is only, the judge asked the immigration officials, why are you, what has changed in this man's circumstances? You asked the man to be signing. He has been signing for 17 years. His circumstances, he hasn't committed any crime. What has changed? When the judge asked the immigration lawyer, they could not give any plausible reason for why they want to deport this man back to Nigeria. The judge then said, look, even ICE, you violated your own rules. They say that you did not even abide by your rule because you detained this man for no grant, and this man has not even been briefed of the reason why you have revoked his supervised release, and you did not even give this man any formal interview to provide him an opportunity to defend himself. She ruled that the notice that they sent to Mr. Felix could not be sufficient because it failed to demonstrate the circumstances has changed in his case that would justify for him to be rearrested again. The judge described the changed circumstances as too plain, adding that Felix could not defend himself if he didn't know the accusation the government had made against him. These statements are insufficient, as the judge said, to provide for somebody to be deported, somebody who has abided by the law for more than 17 years. The judge said Felix cannot be expected to respond to the reason for revocation stated in the notification when the notice does not actually state any reason for revocation. Therefore, the judge said this ruling is valid. The judge in this case, Mrs. Santamario, said ICE's argument of a change in international relations, because ICE say, the relationship between Nigeria and the US is not good. That is why we want to send this man to Nigeria. The judge said, no, that does not bite. The relationship under Biden between Nigeria and the US was good. It's not like the relationship suddenly changed overnight. I am not buying the argument that you put before me. You must release this man because you did not even abide by your own rule. And based on the court petition, the court now granted him temporary respect that he must not be sent out of America. This is a man who first arrived in the US 1980. He committed one of small offenses. He has been a good man since. He has been working as a nurse. He has retired. The judge said, no, you cannot send this man. This guy is lucky for now. Meanwhile, another Nigerian is on his way back to Nigeria. This Nigeria, in his case, his name is Ejoba. Ejoba, nobody knows when he first arrived in America, but there are reports that he came in through the back door. When this other Nigerian arrived in America, he joined what they call the Blood Gang. The Blood Gang is one of the most ruthless gang in California. This brother that we are talking about today, according to the report in the US media, he has been involved in armed dealing, detention, all sorts of crime. In fact, the guy even escaped from police custody. His gang, the Blood, anyone that the two most deadliest gang in California is Crips and Blood. This guy is a strong man. The judge has said this guy came to America. He has lived in America for more than 20-something years. For him to be able to join that gang, he's somebody who is well integrated into America. The guy, Ibrahim Ejoba, the guy has exhausted all options for him to be deported, for him to fight deportation. And in this case, the judge has said, you came to America, the only thing you were good at is gang, drug dealing, all sort of crime. You were involved in kidnapping, armed racketing. That it's time. The crime that you have committed is so serious that it meets the threshold for you to be removed from America, because your stay in the US is not conducive to public goods, that you are a threat to the American public, and because of that, you must be sent home. As I speak to you today, our brother Ejoba is on his way to Nigeria, is likely to be deported. His full name is Ibrahim Tunde Ejoba. That is his full name. And he's on his way to be deported to Nigeria now. Some people have said that they do not have sympathy for Ejoba, that as soon as he arrives in Muritala Muhammad, all those American English that he's speaking, man, you know, I'm from the state, that when the sun in Nigeria hit his head and he faced the reality of life in Nigeria, the brother will know that Calabar, na big city, as they say in Nigeria, that the reality will kick in. But when the economic hardship hits him, he will know. Why some people have said that we should not write up Ejoba? Don't be surprised with the talent that he has acquired in America. If he joined APC, the ruling party in Nigeria, and he becomes a governorship candidate and became one of the governors in the Southwest, or a senator, or a member of the House of Rep, because James Ibori was once written off as an ex-convict. We know how Ibori became the governor of Delta State. Do you have any sympathy for Ejoba? Or do you think that, yes, he deserved what he's gotten because he went to America, he screwed up his chances, he misused his opportunity, and therefore he deserved what he has gotten? And for the case of Philip, anyone that wants to read up on the case of Philip, this is the case. You can read up on the case. We are happy that this brother, he has been given reprieve, and he's been allowed to stay for America for now. This is the full case for anybody that wants to receive. So let me know what your views are about the case of Ejoba and Felix Amy, two Nigerians with two contrasting experiences in Nigeria. One is being sent back to Nigeria for being involved in gang and criminal activities, while the other one, his good character has saved him. There are valuable lessons that can be learned from this story. I think one of the lessons that we can learn is, if you are somebody who is living abroad and you haven't regularized your stay, make sure you know the immigration rules and have people to advise you who know more than you. Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Don't forget to give it a like, share so that we can learn, and we'll bring you more updates.